Welcome to the Beyond Uniform Transition Talks, where we honor the stories behind the service. Here's your host, Renea Jones-Hudson, retired Army captain, international best-selling author, speaker, and fierce advocate for women redefining life after the uniform. With 21 years of service and a heart for healing, she's here to remind you, you're seen, you're supported, and you're not alone. Let's dive in.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Living Unapologetically Beyond the Uniform. Today's guest is an amazing individual that I met a few months ago, I think. Yes. And I am excited to have her on the show because she is going to talk about being an entrepreneur in the franchising space. And I'm excited to have her on here because, for one, she's known as the networking queen and the coach that connects. Her name is Toni Harris Taylor, and she is a powerhouse speaker, marketing and sales coach, and a multi-unit franchise owner with a mission to educate and connect minorities, including veterans, with franchising opportunities. So I'm excited to have her. A little bit about her, but I'm gonna have her go into that too. But she's going from overcoming personal challenges to making waves in the world of entrepreneurship. And so she's here to share her insights on how franchising can be a game changer for veterans, and how networking fuels success, and why taking bold action is the key to thriving, which is what the show is all about. So if you're a veteran thinking about your next step, an entrepreneur looking to expand, or just someone ready to take drastic action in your career, this episode is for you. So welcome, Toni. I'm so excited to have you here. Why don't you go ahead and tell our audience, a little bit about yourself, and we'll dive in a little bit more.
Well, thank you so much, Renee, for having me. Our mutual friend, Dr. Gloria, introduced us, and I'm just grateful. Your energy, even though we haven't met in person, I feel like I know you, and your energy has really shown through on the multiple occasions we've had a chance to talk. So thank you again.
Yes, I appreciate you being here.
So I live in Houston, Texas, and as you can see over my head, I have multiple logos and a slogan. So my slogan for success, whether it's life or business, is show up, be up, follow up to blow up. And you got to be drastic to do that. So the word drastic permeates everything I am, everything I teach my clients to be, especially in the area of marketing and sales. Now, Renee, you know this.
Yes.
People want to be entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
But they don't want to really market or sell.
Yes.
But if you don't market or sell yourself, you don't have a business. And so I help entrepreneurs get out of their head, get into their heart, and get their butts out into the world so that they can make the difference that they want to make. Yeah. As you mentioned, I'm known as the networking queen, the coach that connects. I own a franchise, Network in Action. Bought that franchise 5 years ago. And about 3 years ago, I started going to franchise events, and there were just not a lot of people of color in the room. I came to an event in June 2024 in Atlanta, and there were 2.5 Black people there out of 400.
Wow.
In Atlanta.
That does say a lot.
That says a lot about the franchise industry. And I'm like, well, it was at that meeting, someone said to me, well, if you don't have a seat at the table, then make your own table. And that's when the Multicultural Franchise Connectors 501c3 was born.
Wow.
And then from there, I was like, well, people are going to ask me, can you please hook me up with a franchise? What should I buy? What should I? Yeah. And I was like, okay, well, now, so I launched Drastic Franchise Matchmakers in December 2024. So all of those things and these logos over my head just round out, I'm just a connector. I introduce people, places, and things to people, places, and things they did not know. And through that, I make money.
Yeah, that is extremely impressive.
Oh,
Wow. I mean, that was a lot.
it's a lot. It
Wow.
is a lot, but I love it. And as I tell people, it's my own thing. So if
Yeah.
it was too much, I'd take something off my plate. But
Yes. Yes.
I'm in control of it, right?
Yes.
That's the beauty
Yes.
of being an entrepreneur.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you talk about energy, but I love how you show up too. Like, I noticed like it's almost like you have a different color glasses for
I do.
everything. And I love that. I
I
love
do.
that. I really love that. So that is your signature. It's like you show up and you glow up.
Thank you, sis. Because,
All right.
part of the showing up is your appearance
Yes.
and standing out and
Yes.
not just blending in with the crowd.
I
know,
agree
Yes.
wholeheartedly.
And, I looked at your website and I was like, this girl is fabulous. So,
Thank you.
yeah. So I knew who I was coming to talk to. I had to show up for you today.
Yes, I appreciate that. So I want to talk about I want to talk about veterans and franchise connections because that's kind of how the direction we're kind of looking to go in. So I know that you're passionate about connecting minorities to franchise opportunities. How do you see veterans fitting into this space, and why do you think franchising is such a great option for veterans?
Okay, so I'll take that question one piece at a time.
Okay.
So the multicultural franchise connectors isn't just about race.
Right.
It's about different cultures, and veterans are a culture, regardless of race.
Amen.
Correct?
Yes.
So that's why that's one of the targets that I really want to help educate about franchising. Now, why is franchising so good for veterans? Because it's a system that's already ready already. Veterans love systems.
Yes.
They love to have their marching orders, if you will.
Yes.
And so franchises is a business in a box or blueprint that you can just plug and play and get moving. And so the franchise industry as a whole recognizes that veterans make great franchisees as well. So many of our franchisors have special discounts, special programs for veterans because they recognize that veterans fit very well into the franchise world.
Wow. Okay. Because I know when I was talking to you, you were like, there are so many franchising options. And, I only know of a few. I'm not very familiar with franchising, as I mentioned to you. So that's why I was so interested and wanting you to come on here, because that's kind of what this show is too, to provide resources to the listeners, to our female veterans and just veterans as a whole, right? So I appreciate you sharing that. So one of the things that may come up is that a lot of veterans, they're hesitant to become business owner because of financial resources. What resources or funding, and I think you touched on this a little bit, or tax or incentive exists specifically for veterans looking to get into franchising?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, some franchisors will provide discounts for first responders and veterans. So off the top of the franchise fee, they will give 10, 20, 30% off of the franchise fee. So I actually have a portfolio of over 800 franchises. There's over 4,000 franchises in the US.
Wow.
And when we think franchises, we only think food, but food is only 37% of franchises. So that means 63% are not food.
Wow. Yeah. Well, and I can attest to that because I think it's Snap Fitness. I think that's a franchise. And when I was in the fitness space, that was the one that kept coming up for me. And I think there's another one, Gym Guys or something like that.
Yes, Gym Guys. Yep. Those are all franchises. So fitness is children's learning. There's just so much. And in food and beverage, there's just, you can slice and dice that multiple ways as well.
Yeah.
And so besides a discount, there are veteran loan programs out there. There's SBA loan lending. There is, of course, tapping into the resources that a veteran might already have, to be able to fund their business. And so they can get, of course, they can get home equity lines of credit, just like everybody else can. But there are resources to help them with the funding as well.
So what are some of the most veteran-friendly franchises? Is it just the fitness? Like, what are some of the most popular ones that you've seen veterans connect with?
So there are a few that are veteran only. So there's one that is junk hauling. Right? So hauling away, you know. There are restoration companies, fire and water restoration. So there's one that's called, well, I won't call any particular names, but one that is go in and clean hoarding and crime scene cleanup.
Oh, wow.
Crime scene cleanup, yeah. And of course, yes, fitness is a natural one that a lot of veterans lean towards. But again, youth brands, because a lot of veterans want to take care of children. And so there are a lot of kid-friendly tutoring and schools and daycares, all that.
Wow. Wow.
There's so many. And what I want to do is just be that voice.
Yeah.
To let them know that they don't know what they don't know about franchise.
Like the connector, like you said, you're connected. Yeah. You're the coach that connects. So, you know, many of us, we isolate veterans. I will say many veterans, we isolate, and you're known as the networking queen. So for veterans who may feel disconnected after leaving the military, how can they leverage networking to build relationships and opportunities in the business world?
Number one, you got to find your people. You got to find your tribe. So whatever your tribe looks like. In Houston, we have a veterans chamber.
Wow.
Okay. So there's got to be one in Atlanta.
You said that, but actually the Atlanta Black Chamber has a veterans entrepreneur group that's attached to it as part of the chamber. Yeah.
Yes. So that's the next thing. Find the groups who might have subgroups of veterans.
Yeah.
And then attend meetings at those events. Here's the other thing. If you feel uncomfortable, although uncomfortable is not my vocabulary, because my vocabulary is
I know. Yes, it's the total opposite of drastic.
So find someone like Renee who is active. Find that friend, that person who can take you with them and you're not by yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when you lean on others, asking for help is probably the most drastic thing we can do. In fact, see this just yesterday. I was watching something and it was a veterans commercial. And it was talking about how proud, these were family members talking about how proud they were of their family. But the most proud thing they did was ask for help.
Yes. Yeah.
And so there's a commercial going on. It's brand new because it was my first time seeing it. But, the mother was like, my daughter has fought in wars, been in other countries, but the bravest thing she's ever done is ask for help.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to say that to your listeners. The bravest thing you can do is ask for help. If you want to start a business, then ask somebody. Ask for help. If you want to get out and network, ask for help.
Yeah. And it's about asking the right people. Don't ask people who, think they know, it's really about connecting with the right people. And just to your point on the asking for help, it can be challenging for us because we're so used to figuring things out. Oh, I can figure it out. I got this. I was a guest on a podcast last night, and that was some of the things we talked about, but like you said, it is one of the bravest things we can do. And just saying, look, I'm not okay. I'm not okay. And I really need some support right now. And that's one of the things I do want to drive home to the listeners too, because I do understand the rejection, or sometimes, like I said, you're just not talking to the right person. So you go to them and you ask them for help and they really can't help you, especially if they can't relate, if they don't have, that kind of capacity to kind of pull back and say, okay, how can I support you and all of that, or even point you in the right direction. So it does matter that you speak to the right person, especially if you're a veteran.
Absolutely.
What are some of the biggest mistakes entrepreneurs make when trying to grow their network, and how can veterans avoid it?
So my slogan and the title of the book is Show Up, Be Up, Follow Up to Blow Up. So the answer to your question is the opposite of the title. So the mistakes they make, they don't show up.
Yes.
They don't show up. So, and then if they do show up, they don't have good energy. They sit, they nurse and drink, or they're over in the corner. And I get it. Yeah. But I tell my clients all the time, whenever you see Miss Beyonce in an interview, she is not who she is on stage. True. She has to flip a switch.
Yes.
And turn on that personality. Yes. So sometimes we have to, when we're attending an event, while I'm in the car, I got to turn on my switch.
Yes. That is
and
so
I got to show up. And I teach this. I live it, and I still have to do it.
Yes. I can so attest to that. I used to compete as a figure competitor, bodybuilding world. And honestly, while I was behind the curtains waiting to go on stage, it was two different people behind the stage. I'm like nervous and I'm scared. I don't want to go out. But as soon as they call my name, it was a completely different person that got on the stage. So you really have to really know how to flip the switch. And honestly, I flipped the switch a lot in the military. Because you could leave home like in one mood, and if it's a mood that you don't want to carry forward, when you get to post or get to your office, you cannot carry that energy, especially if it's a bad one, from the house, depending on what happens, because it's not always bad energy. But I'm just saying, if it was a bad morning, you have to learn to turn that off. You're in a different environment, serving different people. You just got to know how to bring it. So
that's true. That's true always.
Yes.
Always.
Yes.
But for some reason, as an entrepreneur, we feel like we can, that we don't have to turn it on. Yeah. And it's so weird, right? So we think because we're our own business, we should be able to do it my way. I should be able to do it my way. And to some extent, you can, to some extent. But if you want to do business, you have got to get out of your own way.
Yeah.
And sometimes your way doesn't work.
Yeah.
And so you have to figure out the way that does work and then incorporate that into who you are.
I can see why veterans are a good fit for franchising because, we PCS a lot, change duty station a lot. So, we may leave sometimes we're at duty station 3-4 years, sometimes longer in some cases. And then we move to another duty station. You have to now conform to that climate that's there. So we're used to adjusting. We're used to having to learn to be flexible. We're used to having to pull back to learn, okay, let me see what Tony's unit is about. Because we can't just come in there with the last unit's climate and be like, this is how I'm used to doing it. So, Tony, I'm going to show you what I'm doing. So I can see how the veteran community, veterans, I should say, are a good fit because we're used to having to adjust a lot.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so while franchising gives you a good framework, there are going to be times you have to adjust and you have to tweak and you have to, and so, yeah.
Yeah. I had a question and it left me. Oh, hate that. Okay.
That happens.
So, what about someone who's brand new to networking and may even be a little introverted? What are some first steps they can take to get started?
So I love this question as well. Your introvertness, nobody cares. I'm just being honest. So the first thing you have to do when you're uncomfortable networking, whether you're an introvert or, I present as an extrovert, but I'm really not.
Yes.
Okay. So, number one, you got to stay focused that your business isn't about you.
Yeah.
Or your comfort zone or what you feel like.
Wow.
Your business is about the people you're meant to serve that are not going to come knock on your door and say, serve me.
Yeah.
The people you're meant to serve are out there in the world somewhere. So while you're sitting back thinking, I'm an introvert or I'm uncomfortable or I'm shy or I'm this, it's all about I, and not thinking about the person you're trying to serve. So change your focus. That's the first tip. Change your focus. Take it off of you and take it on to the people. Because most of us as entrepreneurs, we get into our business to help people. We can't help nobody if we're at home.
Right.
We can't help anybody if they don't know who we are.
That is.
And so we got to get out of our own way, take the I out of it, and make it about you're on and this is military, so you can get this. You're on a search and rescue mission.
Yeah.
In other words, if you truly believe that what you do can help somebody else, then your mission is to go find those people.
Wow. That's such a beautiful way to frame that. It makes sense. And you said a few things that clicked with me because like you said, you present extroverted, but you're introverted. And I can say that too. Like most people would not believe how introverted I am. But I don't show up as an introvert. I don't, And the other thing that you said,
introvert. So anybody watches this say she ain't no introvert, but I'm definitely an ambivert.
Yes.
And now that I'm older, now that I'm older, I'm just more mature and I don't speak as much as I used to.
Yes. 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 But one of the things that you also said that I can also speak to, I really was not getting out of my space. So I now put myself in places, even when I'm uncomfortable, because the goal for me is to learn and to connect, right? And because you don't know who knows who. So one of the goals is definitely you have to get out. And that's a true statement that you made. You have to get out of your space because nobody's coming, especially I work from home. So nobody's going to come to the door and knock and be like, hey, I need your help. They're not going to. So that I love that you said that. So how has networking played a role in your own success? Like what lessons can veterans apply to their own journey?
Yeah. Networking is everything. people always say, well, Toni, how did you? And I'm always like, the answer is always networking. Now, if you want to know the networking story, then, but I have not, it's not ads, it's not paying for, it's all relationships.
Yeah.
So, and being a giver, I am a giver before I ask for something.
Yes.
And so, because I'm a giver, people want to give back to me.
Yeah. So I changed. I had when I first got into business, I didn't understand that. I just didn't, because for one, I didn't have the business sense that I do now. You mature as you stay in this in as an entrepreneur. But I joined BNI, and their slogan is "Givers Gain," and that's when it first hit me. So now when if I ask someone to meet, I'm not asking them for them to become a client. I want to know, how can I serve you? Because that's the whole concept. We're providing a service. Like you said, we're servants. So, and, we got to look at it like that. Jesus was a servant. Like, he went around and he served everybody. So we have to, and if we, like you said, if we're very passionate about what we're doing, offer value first, because then it'll all come back, and don't look for anything, right? Because, like you said, because it might not come at that moment either. Right? It'll come maybe tomorrow, years later, 2 weeks later, but you really have to go in and say, okay, how can I add value to this meeting right now, to this person? What can I offer?
Let me add to that. That's a really great point. The reason you network is so that you have people to connect to your network.
Yes.
It is not just so you can get business. And that's the thing. If you take that off the table, then your networking will become, if your networking is just so I can help people in my network, then the pressure is off.
Yes.
There's no reason to feel introverted. There's no reason to feel, because I'm just trying to learn about you so I can introduce you to somebody over here.
Yes.
And the moment we get that, then the floodgates will open for you as well, because people want to do business with people who have a heart.
Yes.
And if they can see your heart, then it'll grow from there.
It's that know, like, and trust factor.
Absolutely.
Know, like, and trust factor.
Absolutely.
And it's all about being you, it really is. And I'm learning that the more and more. And the more you learn that, the easier it gets. Like it and like you said, people just, hey, can you do this? Or I'm looking for this. Can you do, this? So that is so true.
Yeah.
You talk about taking drastic steps. So what does that mean for someone transitioning out of the military who may feel lost or uncertain? And, many of us come out in that space, like 18, and I came out at 40, and I thought I knew what I knew, but I didn't know.
So life is a series of drastic steps. You may not have called them that. The fact that you stayed in the military for that length of period of time was drastic.
Yes.
The fact that you went to the military was drastic. And now you're starting a new life, which will feel drastic.
Yes.
And sometimes the drastic steps are baby steps. The key there is you just have to keep moving forward. But nobody's successful inside their comfort zone. Not a soul, not one. So, I mean, if you were able to have all you wanted in life and you could do it inside your comfort zone, we'd all be where we want to be.
Yes. Yes.
But so you have to get drastic. And I surround myself with people who push me to be bigger and more drastic.
You have to do that.
Surround yourself with is so important.
Yeah.
And that's why networking's been so great, because usually the entrepreneurs have a great energy, even when life is lifing, because they have to keep going in order to be successful.
Yeah. Yeah. Well said. So what, well, how can veterans own their transition in a way that leads to personal and financial freedom with franchising?
Yeah. Well, first of all, this is a good time for us to plug what we're doing.
Yeah.
February the 26th, we are having a webinar. You need to show up. You need to show up at the webinar. I'm going to talk about specifics of franchising, and then I'll have 4 veteran-friendly franchisors on the call to introduce their concept.
Yes.
And so in order to find out more or to learn more, you need to be in the room. So it's February 26th at 6:30 Eastern, 5:30 Central Time. And we're just going to introduce you to franchising and then to 4 brands. I think it's a great place to start.
Yes.
And then they can hear then what it takes. But I'm going to say this. Yeah, starting a business from scratch is not for punks. Period. It is not.
It is
And
not
so
for the faint of heart.
if I knew then what I know now, I would not start up a business unless it was something that absolutely did not exist. But I'm from this point forward, any new businesses, either a franchise or an existing business that I buy,
Yeah.
I'm not starting from scratch no more.
I agree. It is definitely a transition. It is definitely another transition.
The other thing about franchises, and I do want to say this, is you asked about funding, but there are franchises as low as $10,000. Who knew?
Yeah.
And you're going to spend that same money, whatever you put into a franchise, you're going to spend in a startup and then some, and make a lot of mistakes.
Yes. Yes. And $10,000 is not a lot of money anymore.
And no, it is not.
Yeah,
and so there's not many at that level, but it is possible.
Yeah.
And then, you can definitely get into one for less than 100.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to take my statement back that I said it's not a lot when trying to start a business. Right. Let's clarify that.
Correct. Yes, you're going to spend that money and then some.
Yes. Yes. Wow, Toni, this was an incredible conversation. I mean, your energy, your wisdom, and passion for helping others take drastic steps towards success. It's really inspiring. So I thank you for being here. I am excited to have you on the show to connect, our audiences together. So for our veteran listeners, if you ever thought about franchising, networking, or simply just stepping into a new chapter, this episode was your sign. And remember, we're going to have a webinar on February 26th so that you can learn more about franchising and what's available. Toni just dropped some serious gems on how you can take control of your future and turn your skills into success. And we all know we are, loaded with skills and talents and leadership and all of that stuff. So Toni, let our listeners know where they can connect with you and learn more about your work. And I'll put all of that in the show notes as well.
I'm going to keep it simple. Go to drasticresults.com. That's my website. And there you will be able to see all about me, my contact information. And on social media, I'm under my name, Toni Harris Taylor.
Well, as always, if you love this conversation, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to Living Unapologetically Beyond the Uniform on the Bold Brave TV network. And let's continue to build a community that is just supportive and empowering to our female veterans and our veterans on a whole, just helping them to own their transition, to redefine their future, and to thrive beyond the service. So until next time, stay bold, stay unapologetics, and keep owning your transition.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, y'all.